Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, everybody? Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. Tweets and signs. I want to cover some things that when I got back, I decided I love looking at the tweets. I just do. You folks are so creative. Why wouldn't I? Speaking of which, let's start with President Trump's tweet. It says, from Bush 1 to the present, our country has lost more than 55,000 factories, 6 million manufacturing jobs, and accumulated trade deficits of more than $12 trillion. This is last year we had a trade deficit of almost $800 billion. Now, I don't know if that number's correct. I've seen 570. But the other numbers are staggering. Lost more than 55,000 factories, 6 million manufacturing jobs, and trade deficits of $12 trillion. That's just from the time of Bush 1. That's amazing. Staggering statistics. Should be scary to most people. And what's funny, the left, instead of focusing on the idea of Donald Trump bringing all this back, the big news for them is a porn star that Donald Trump may or may not have slept with, that I'll tell you something I don't care about. I'll tell you the majority of Americans don't care about. The majority of the evangelical Americans don't even care about it. And it's not because we don't see it as a potential sin or whatever. That's not what Donald Trump was elected for. See, they want us to fall into that trap of, oh my goodness, look at there. They're those sanctimonious. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. We're no longer those sanctimonious conservatives. You know, Bible thumping. I don't know about you guys, but over the weekend, all I did was have Bible studies at the Beverly Wilshire when I was, there to do my Fox hit. When the limo driver drove up, I had my Bible with me. Now, look, I'm not mocking those people that do. In fact, I admire them. I watched a guy one time at the airport, and he was not only reading the Bible, he was highlighting and studying. And you could tell he wasn't in theology class. He was just wanting a better understanding. I admired him. Now, there are leftists, they would mock him. They would be, oh, look at that guy. Look at what he's doing. And what was funny, he wasn't looking up to see who was paying attention or whatever else. He was absorbed. I think it's great. By the way, I'm going to do a quick shout out. If you get a chance to get what's called a learning Bible, it'll be fascinating to you. It tells you why the books are written the way they are, who wrote them, and why. It gives you the history. It's like learning history in school, which is the way you get taught the Bible in church, versus learning it on TV through the History Channel. It's just so eye-opening and interactive. I would love to see a Bible that was interactive, maybe there's one that exists already on the internet, and it would take you to the places and show you the actual locations and things like that. How would that be for a study guide? Talk about beautiful history, man. My brother's got a PhD in theology, and every time we talk, I swear I'm just like, just mesmerized at what he knows about the Bible and how you apply it to today. Anyway, another tweet. Stonewall Jackson, he said this: I have an uncle who's a big liberal, hated Trump since the beginning. I just talked to him and he blew my mind. He said that he was so impressed with Trump, with the economy, and North Korea, and says that Trump is the most brilliant person he's ever seen, and he might vote for him in 2020. Now, what's so telling about that is that after the guy makes his transition, he still says he might vote for him in 2020. He probably will. But here's what I want to tell you about it. We're talking about a liberal who hated Trump, who says to the person who's a pro-Trump guy, I know Stonewall, the guy I'm talking about, that's his Twitter handle. He says to a pro-Trump guy, I have to admit to you, I like this guy. I like him enough to consider. Now, we're talking about somebody that's probably pinging over to far left. He may not be Antifa, BLM left, but he's a big-time lefty, and now he's right of center. You consider how many people feel that way. as we contemplate 2018 November. Yeah. Bring it, lefties. I was on TV the other day. I said, I don't care what anybody tells you, folks. I don't care how much media you hear about it. I don't care what polls they give you. You can disregard. This year in November will be a bloodbath for the left. Not only are they not going to gain any seats in the House, they're going to lose some. And they're also going to get their butts kicked in the Senate. They're going to lose like you wouldn't believe. Don't believe them for a second. I don't care whatever one-offs that occur, it isn't going to happen. Well, we got Pennsylvania coming up. We'll get the results of that today. So let's see what happens there. What's the next one we got? Here's a Liver Lip Louie. He tweeted this. Trump can't win for losing. MSM, the mainstream media, criticizes him for talking tough to Rocket Man and now criticizing him for having a meeting with his tiny dancer. Obama hangs with Castro, gives billions to terrorists, lets guns go to the cartel, and they say Trump is mentally ill. Give me a break. Here's the good news about this. Here's the good news. I've been telling you guys this for ages. How many things can the left continue to complain about? Continue to try to drive a wedge between people. How many things can they complain about that ends up being completely nonsense? I mean, I just read a tweet earlier of a guy whose uncle, who is a hardcore leftist, who says, I'm swinging over. How many people do you think are noticing this, folks? Noticing that no matter what Donald Trump does, it's negative on their side. And they're going, look, I can go negative on certain things. You can get me to go negative that he's a racist or he doesn't like women or he's a womanizer, whatever. You can get me to go a little bit. But when you start telling me that, no, a meeting with the North Korean dictator, something Obama couldn't do, that's no good. And that guy wants the meeting. You can't tell me that the crumbs that I'm getting back in my check is something that, these elitist Democrats are calling crumbs, and you want me to feel bad that Donald Trump gave me money back in my check, that I'm going to get a bigger tax refund, and so on and so forth. People just finally go, okay, I get it. They're just liars. We don't have to say it anymore. We don't even have to be the bad guys. Think about that. We don't have to be. The Democrats have become so unhinged that even their own people are recognizing it. Do you know what they want to run on? They want to run on the idea of tax increases for the next year. That's what they want to run on. As millions of people tens of millions getting rebates in their check, getting money back in their checks, can pay a few more bills, can do a little bit more. And the Democrats are saying, nope, we're going to jack them up. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to prompt, no, you people will get to keep yours. It's just these really big elites that we're going to go after. And Trump's going, for what? You're going to go after them so you can do more infrastructure? We're building infrastructure. What do you want to do? Kennedy brought up a big point. I don't know if she said it on air or not, but we were talking about the train. The train that they want to build in California. $77 billion. First section of it doesn't even connect to anything. And what's the speed it's going to achieve? They say it may run 20 mile an hour faster than existing infrastructure, existing trains, because it's got old infrastructure. In other words, nothing new under the sun. It isn't like the bullet train in Japan or the bullet trains in China, where these things are going, 200 plus mile an hour, and they're saving lots of time and they're commuting lots of people to these big cities. And it's open terrain, etc. Nope. They're not doing none of that. Just they boondoggle projects. I asked a guy who walked up to me at the airport the other day, and he goes, hey, Kevin, he's a white guy. Says, hey, man, he goes, he recognized me. Said, and I thought I'd met the only other conservative in California who was a black limo driver. Took me to the thing. But no, a white guy walks up to me at the airport and he says, hey, man, I recognize you. And I may be the only guy you'll meet here in California that's a conservative. And we talked. And I said, look, take politics out of the discussion. Tell me that you want to bring in, you want to protect the rights of a man who shot Catherine Steinle, who had been deported multiple times. And you, as the governor of a state, I don't care what your political persuasion is, You want to protect that man over the rights of a woman who was killed by that illegal that came into this country. Explain that to me logically. Explain it to me logically. I asked this of many Californians, where you've got the highest state income taxes, the highest sales taxes, and you've got a governor who says it's okay to steal up to $950 and it's a misdemeanor. He says it's okay to contract HIV. Nobody cares. You can't say I'm trying to hurt you if I don't tell you I've got HIV and whatever else. And I could go on. He penalizes you for breathing air. Who does this? Give me one logical reason why you would continue to vote for a clown like that. I can't think of one.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.